I'm just having issues with OBS already. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the season finale here. Round number 8, the Brazilian Grand Prix. Fluffy's already invalidated as we're just getting going. But I believe everything should be up and running now. And we are back for the season finale. As I realise I have already said that. Round number 8 of season number 1. The final race on F124. And it's sprint qualifying. A sprint and a race here in Interlagos. It's going to be a good one. There is still things to play for. Both championships at the top are pretty much secured, but every other position is still right up in the air. Obviously got sprint qualifying now, a short qualifying session, just to determine, obviously, the grid position for the 12-lap sprint that we will be heading on to later on this evening, and then it'll be the main qualifying session and the main race. Quite a few drivers, interestingly, are doing these first runs on the medium compound tyres, R34, with a 1:08.1 as the first driver to set a flying lap. Next to the line, Cliffy Clive, 1:09.0. Again, it's a short circuit. This Interlagos is just a short circuit, a lot of elevation change, a lot of undulation. It's quite difficult on the tyres as well, considering how short it is. But the gaps are small, because of how short the circuit is. And that's Cliffy Clive going very slowly through turn number 1, getting out the way. It's better to be overcautious than undercautious and get in someone's way. Here comes Rocky across the line with a 1:08.6 on the medium tyres. Not bad at all to be getting on with. Deeks 1:09.0. Just a few other drivers setting their first laps. Cookface across the line has invalidated that first attempt, so we'll be having to go again. That was on the intermediate tyres, so it doesn't matter too much that the lap will not be posted. Fluffy will be the next to the line and goes in second place with a 1:08.246 to go. Right behind her teammate to make it a Ferrari 1-2 as things stand. R34 is not a full-time Ferrari driver at the moment, but has been representing Ferrari in most of the races this season. Liam Wilder, 1:08.119 as the first run for the Williams driver. He's got Mr. Business behind him, just starting one as well. He's not deploying any ARS on those medium tyres as well. Not expecting too much greatness from Mr. Business on this time around. Looks to have secured the Constructors' Championship. I think he mathematically has, because Polytrump does not have a full-time teammate racing this evening. And I believe that is enough to secure Red Bull the Constructors' Championship. But we will give them their due credit later on in the race as they get to the end of the Grand Prix. And I think that is everything mostly done for the first runs. Fluffy's still going around on the circuit, but yeah, nothing too great. Not having a full battery before starting is never the greatest of signs. That's Polytrump with a 1:08.5, 3/10 off the next car, and 4 away from Liam Wilder on the same tyres, which is an interesting position for Polytrump to find himself in. Mr. Business is going again on those medium tyres, now that he's got them up to temperature that little bit more. But again, it is the medium compound tyre, so don't expect too much. So obviously we can follow the Red Bull driver just up the hill. I am also trying to do things on the Discord side as well, so bear with for a little while. And there goes Fluffy to the top with a 1:08.0, takes that provisional sprint pole. And it's Mr. Business into P4 with a 108.3. Nothing too crazy just yet from the Red Bull driver. And that's tech support with a 108.1 on those medium tyres. So Mr. Business hasn't got the most out of those, out of that medium compound by the looks of things. Or at least not yet in the session, but I mean, that doesn't matter too much. He'll obviously find the time later on in the session. So it's just as long as he does so is the main deal for him. And it's just getting the most out of those tyres when it matters on the last runs, because really nothing up to that point makes too much difference. It's nice to have a banker in case you can't improve, but it's unlikely that your banker will end up taking pole. There's always a possibility in the end. Rocky's gone into second at some point during that time when I haven't been paying attention. He's done that on the medium tyres as well. It's sprint qualifying, so you'd expect the track will be quite green, as it so often is in sprint quali, just the way that this game works. And into the pits comes Rocky as well. R34's gone fasted with a 107.773 with 3 minutes to go in the session. Now is the sort of point where I have to start actually paying attention. A few drivers not setting laps just yet, such as Cookface, who's just gone out. You'd expect him to be setting a time at some point, but with the amount of time left in the session, he's not going to have too long to do so anymore. And he's going to be starting his run now, which will probably be the first one that he gets completed, as that Shane has just gone across the line with a 109.3, not improving or not gaining any ground, and I think that's the last that we'll see of the Aston Martin in this qualifying session. R34 will be tight whether he makes it back to the pits, but should do so in these last few laps in time, or in these last few minutes in time, to get back out on the circuit for the final flying runs. Coming out of the circuit already, no, sorry, that is Rav who's just finished the lap. I thought it was Polytromp heading out onto the track. There's a Red Bull leaving the pits, and that's on for the first time in this session. We've not seen him so far, and he's leaving it late in this sprint qualifying session, and he seems to be struggling through the pit lane as things stand. Coming into the final corner comes Cookface. It's 51.6 in those first two sectors. Gets back on the power. And it's the run up towards the line for the Haas driver. So far, nothing looking too extraordinary. We've not seen too much of the run so far. There he goes. It's second place with a 107.9, so there definitely is time to be found in this session if the drivers get their soft tyres up dialed in properly. And it's the track evolution because of how green the circuit was, as it is sprint qualifying. The game does simulate sort of how practice sessions would affect the track, but it's not a full thing. So it's like simulating what the track might be like with this many practice sessions. But there's no exact values. But the track will still be greener than it would have been in regular qualifying. Hart, 10th and a half up, going into turn number 4, and he keeps it on the track just about, heading up the hill through the middle sector. Just needs quite a lot of time, 9/10 of a second, if he wants to get himself up into provisional pole, so he's going to have to find quite a lot of that in this middle sector, getting it rotated through the long left, down the hill and back up again through turn 9. There's sort of right-hand to Eppin, locking the rears a bit, going into turn number 10, down to first gear, a bit lower than would be ideal, sweeping down the hill to the left. Turn number 11 is still only a 10th and a half up, going into that final sector. And he might improve a position or two, but it's not going to be much more than that for the Alpine driver. DRS active, coming across the line with 30 seconds to go in the session. It's a 2/10 improvement, but it's only one place found. Hart is not going to be setting anything better than a time for 8th place. R34 just coming around the last corner will make it to the line in time, but it'll be a little bit tight. He is okay. Here comes on in the Red Bull. Not set a lap so far in the session, so don't have a delta to see what he's going to do. He goes into P10 with a 108.7, sitting behind Hearts in the end. Polly jump across the line with a 107.6 to go fastest. Liam Wilder matches him, but can't go ahead of him. Now, it's the Mercedes of Texport coming across the line. A 107.633 to take that provisional sprint pole away. Mr. Business is only 2/10 up. He needs a lot more than that to be challenging at the front. As he comes around the final couple of corners, there's Rocky in front of him as well, who's invalidated. It's Teagues who goes into P4. Mr. Business across the line with a bit of a toe in the end. It's a 107.714 to go into 4th place. But what can R34 do, who's on provisional pole, before these last runs went in? But it's not going to be enough. He's down on his time. It's Texport on sprint pole. Polytromp in 2nd place. Liam Wilder 3rd for the sprint with Mr. Business 4th. Teagues in 5th on his debut. R34 in 6th despite being on provisional pole through those first runs. 7th place for Cookface, 8th for Fluffy, 9th Rocky, and 10th for Hearts. And just look at those gaps, if I can actually get them up. Look at the top 6, within a 10th and a half. It's very tight at the top. The gaps do get a bit wider throughout the rest of the session, but we love to see margins like that in the qualifying session. But it's tech support on that sprint pole. Top 6 in a 10th and a half. Should be a very exciting sprint ahead of us. So it's a sprint. Should be getting underway shortly. It should be a very exciting one. This should be a fun race for sure, with how qualifying was. And here we go. The formation lap gets underway for the sprint race. Here in Interlagos, it's a mix of softs and mediums. Most drivers opting for the medium compound that will last them for the longer point in the race. But some are going for that early pace on the soft compound tyre that you'd expect to start falling off later on in the sprint. The top two on the medium tyres will expect to get a pretty even getaway. Liam Wilder in third on that soft compound. We'll try and risk it on lap one, get ahead as early as possible to utilise those soft tyres when they're at their best, to try and mitigate the effects for when they become worse. That'll be the aim for the Williams driver. And everyone else just snaking their way around the circuit. Mr. Business leaving quite a large margin up in front of him there. As he's... yeah, and there's going to be no pit stops unless we get a safety car and someone receives damage. I really should. And yeah, they are the two options of why we might see pit stops. Either safety cars or damage. I'm going to do that so that you don't see my FPS counter. Just make it seem a bit more like real life. But now, parking up on the grid. SM33 didn't set a lap in the sprint qualifying session. He'll be starting from the back, lining up with Rav on the back row. Not the greatest of camera angles yet again from F124. We're going to work with it before the sprint race in Sao Paulo. 12 laps is what it will be. It's 12 laps of straight racing for the sprint race, the season finale. It's lights out, and away we go, and Polydrop gets a good start. He does take the lead away and towards that first corner on the inside. Polydrop leads. Techsport fights him around the outside though, and does regain that position on lap one. They all seem to have made it through the first couple of corners cleanly. Liam Wilder now in third place, trying to challenge for that second. He's on the inside of Polydrop at turn number 4, and he does jump up into that second place. Now chasing after Techsport in the lead of the sprint as things stand. And they all do seem to have made it through cleanly. There's a Haas, and not a Haas, an Alpine, and a Sauber going side by side. As very wide goes Ahmed, tried to leave the space, left a little bit too much of it, and does go right the way off the circuit. R34 losing a lot of time and getting involved in battles through that middle sector. Is that Om with a bit of front wing damage going through? Yes, it is. He has picked up a little bit of damage to that front wing, but he's okay for now. But currently sitting outside the points. Is looking unlikely to score any. Could face up in P5 after the first lap, but he doesn't have any DRS, and you'd expect him to lose out pretty shortly as a couple of cars go through. Teeks and Fluffy both go past. The struggling Haas. Twig is out off the sprint, going on the straight, pretty much. Don't know how his car has ended up there. We're not going to have a safety car for it, even though it's in the wall. With, like, right on the circuit. There goes Liam Wilder down the inside of Techsport into the lead of the sprint through turn 4 on lap 2. Techsport will want to keep close to him to aim to maintain, or not to maintain, to regain that position as they go onto the main straight on the next occasion. And Fluffy and P5 just 1.9 seconds behind Zyronom, going side by side through the end of this middle sector. As Shane got caught up in some form of incident, missing both parts of his front wing, and yeah, currently down in 16th, is looking very unlikely to score any points. There goes Mr. Business up into 3rd place. Polytron struggling from the front row of the grid, almost took the lead into the first corner. There goes Techsport thinking about a move on the inside of Limwater. He does have to back out and concede the position, which does allow Mr. Business to gain a little bit on the exit, but it won't be enough just yet. There goes the Mercedes round the outside of Limwater, and into turn 4 he retakes the lead of the sprint, the position in which he started just a couple of laps ago. And Cookface down into 10th when at one stage up in 5th in this train, just dropping like a stone through the field outside the points quite comfortably, and it's looking unlikely that he will score anything in this sprint. It's only the top 10, top 8 do so after he falls around the barriers on the exit of turn number 9. He's not got any damage, but he does fall out of the points paying positions. And he too is starting to look unlikely that he'll score any points. And he's expecting Limwater on this occasion to go back for the lead, but Mr. Business is there as well, making it 3 wide into turn 1, and he gets the move done on the inside of Limwater. Mr. Business leads the sprint now. And he started down in 4th place. Clifton Clive's making a pit stop, most likely with some front wing damage. Mr. Business leads, and he does hold on to that race lead. So they go through turn number 4. Limwater right on the rear of the Red Bull. Can't do anything about it though. Fluffy currently sitting in that 5th place. Seems to be closing the gap down just that little bit because of the fighting of the cars in front, but there's nothing too much that she can do so far. Teek's behind as well will be looking to utilise the DRS, do a bit of DRS swapping down the main straight, but again, they've not got too much progress so far. So Mr. Business currently leads the sprint here in Interlagos. Limwater, currently sitting half a second behind, will be possibly a bit too far back to go from moving to turn 1, but might have a chance into turn number 4. Here goes Polytron on Techsport, the pair that started on the front row, going wheel to wheel through turn number 1. On the inside is the Mercedes driver, and he gets the move, or he holds on to the place. Polytron can't do anything about it, has to settle for that 4. And they're all just snaking their way round the lap so far. Nothing too much going on this lap number 5. There was that bit of battling into turn number 1, but again, it seems to be pretty fairly calm as things go. Omenar 34 now sitting 3.5 seconds behind 9th place. Neither of them looking likely to score, but I think both might have a little bit of front wing damage. Rav's gone off through the first corner, lost quite a lot of his front wing, but will carry on in this race. And Shane as well, missing a lot of his front wing, gets the grass. There up turn 6. It's quite an unusual place to be going off, but such is the nature of the understeer. Teeks and Fluffy just sitting in such a close margin. You think they're bound to catch up at some point, but they're just not doing so. They're just sitting constantly a tiny bit outside the DRS. And now the gap grows again. R34 and on, constantly battling, as are Cookface and Hearts. Ooh, it's the Alpine going very wide. Limwater retakes the lead of the sprint on lap number 6. Mr. Business just tucks in behind. He's going to think about it into turn 6, but it'll be incredibly foolish to do so. He just waits behind the Williams for now. Hearts had a little spin there. Now 1.2 seconds behind Cookface, but he will most likely gain that back in the next 6 laps. But what can Mr. Business do? And such is the nature of Interlagos that you can just constantly be swapping positions down that pit straight. And he's going to do so again. He's going to tuck in with the DRS. Pulls to the outside this time of Limwater. And he moves past long before the corner. And Liam Wilder, maybe at risk from tech support, who does so as well. Ahmed gets a 3-second time bounty. Here goes Polytron on the inside, of all people. Liam Wilder goes for the late lunge. He makes contact with Mr. Business. But he holds on. He is okay. He takes that second place from tech support, who backed out on the outside. But Liam Wilder survives the contact and survives it in second place. Out of everything that could have happened, I honestly don't think that was an outcome I was expecting from the late lunge and then somehow still maintaining the position. It's rather fortunate that the Williams driver kept himself facing the right way, but he's going to take it any day of the week. And again, they're just... it's this downhill section of the track that's so beautiful to watch. They all just snake their way down the hill. The camera angle is superb. And there's a risk. Fluffy, almost, she does get the DRS. And now there's another car, another train involved in this front fight, if she can keep it there. It's currently sitting 1.1 seconds behind. I don't think it will last for too long. But now, we do see another change to the story. Because now it's the front 7, all in the DRS of one another. So if this front 4 get too involved in battling, as they have been so far in the sprint, they now have another 3 cars to worry about, sitting behind them. It's a close margin. It's a very fine margin between Fluffy and tech support, but so far, it is under that 1 second. Rocky just looking to be dropping out at this stage as well. Now that they don't get the... I mean, neither Rocky nor Teeks are getting the advantage of DRS from Fluffy anymore, who's right there with tech support. And look at this, they're going around the final corner. And I think it is now a front... No, Teeks will just about hold on, but Rocky isn't. It's now a front 6 that we have. The train grew, and the train is already beginning to shrink again. Here goes Polytron on Liam Wilder on the inside of the Williams driver. He does have to back out just for now. But he's going to be thinking about it. He's got that move lined up in his mind of how he's going to do it, when and why. He needs to get past Liam Wilder on the slower soft tyres. He's got tech support on his outside now. He can't go for the move on the Williams. He goes right up to the white line. And tech support does have to back out. And he's going to think about the move, but he can't do anything. And that allows Teeks to close back in again. But again, he's still not that close. And he's still sitting 7/10 behind at this stage. Mr. Business! Very sideways at the bottom of turn number 9. But I mean, he's okay. He's held on. And yeah, he's just going to keep himself going in that race lead. He's doing very nicely so far. There's a yellow flag. That's going to be the House of Zyro who's gone off at the top of the hill through turn number 8. Has no damage. Would have just lost it through 6 and 7. But look at Liam Wilder being such a bottleneck in the field. There goes Polytron trying to try the move on the outside of the Williams driver. Liam pushing him right the way up to the grass. Round the outside he goes. Becomes the inside line, but Liam Wilder's still there. There's a little bit of contact between the two of them, which doesn't quite invite tech support into the fight. But he is there. He's going to try it on the inside of the pair of them. But I think he is just going to have to back out yet again. And the only change is tech support up to 3rd. Liam Wilder's still 2nd. Mr. Business still 3rd. Just tech support and Polytron swapping around. Teeks is now right there behind Fluffy in P6. And we do have quite the fight over these last 2 laps that we have remaining. Or 2.5. But the main fighting will be on the pit straights. If Mr. Business can pull away, Liam Wilder's going to be in a lot of trouble, but he's not going to be able to do so just yet. Just how much they've been fighting so far. That's Ralph who's gone off through the first sector and now is a lap down. Has Mr. Business just broken the DRS? No, he hasn't. But he's very close to doing so. If they fail to get the DRS of Mr. Business, it'll be a very different fight. Tech support moves up into 2nd place and is now 8/10 behind the race leader. And thanks to the benefits of the DRS, he will be okay. But that was a scary moment. Teeks and Fluffy now out the DRS. They're both out the 1 second. And that could change the race again. It's back to a front 4. It was front 4, then front 7, then 6, and now it's 4 again. With how this race has been going, it's considering how few overtakes there have actually been, has been very entertaining. Mr. Business has just been checked out in the lead for the majority of this sprint, starting in 4th place. Tech Sport getting himself, or looking to convert that sprint pole to a 2nd place in the sprint. But all the fighting has just been going on behind Mr. Business, and there's been nothing, he's not been involved in it, because it's all behind him. And now he's got a full battery, so there's pretty much nothing that can be done against him at this stage. All going onto the main straight again. You'd expect Polytromp will be wanting to fight Liam Walder going into turn number 1. He's not close enough to do anything just yet. And now the saving will start for this final straight. But Mr. Business, with 80% battery, is going to be in the best position by a mile. And he's currently in the race lead. He's not got anyone that can challenge him, really. Polytromp trying on the outside of Liam Walder. He goes wide, sliding around on that runoff area. He's still there on the inside of the Williams. He's going to try it into turn 6. He does have to back out, but that might have cost them both the DRS and allow Polytromp to send it through turn 7. And he gets caught by Fluffy as he goes round. And that's going to demote him to P6. If he had waited, he might have had a chance. Mr. Business playing it tactically. Let's Tech Support go. But with a full battery and right behind the Mercedes with the DRS as well, you'd expect him to breeze past. I don't think he had to do that. But he doesn't know how much battery the Mercedes has. He's taken a risk in doing this, but he gets the DRS, and he will try and breeze past the Mercedes. He does so, and he wins the sprint. As that's a Fluffy going off in the background. Mr. Business wins the sprint. In Interlagos with Tech Support in 2nd place. Liam Walder 3rd. Teeks 4th. Polytromp coming home 5th in the end. He really didn't need to take that risk on the last lap. Fluffy comes home in 6th. Rocky 7th. Hearts 8th. Cookface 9th and R34 10th. With the last point going to Hearts. But I think Red Bull are now officially crowned champions of Season 1. I can't be sure, but I want to say it's now. I do want to say it's now officially confirmed. But what a sprint it was in the end. Mr. Business victorious, Tech Sport 2nd place, Liam Walder 3rd, then Teeks, Polytromp, Fluffy, Rocky Hearts as the top 8. Fastest lap in the end, I don't think it actually highlights it, but I do believe it was Mr. Business with that 109.2. That was quite the sprint, and it sets us up for a very exciting main race as well. from what I'm hearing... Oh, Miss Business has, I assume, voluntarily disqualified himself, as has Lynn Wilder, I think. Yeah, the pair of them choosing to start from the back of the grid, having taken that strong sprint result for the last race of the season, just to give themselves that little bit more fun. Oh, as has Tech Sport. So, so those three, maybe even Bolly Trump as well. I don't know if he's on board with their plan of all starting the back of the grid, but it should definitely make things more interesting for the main race. But Ahmed's the first driver to start a lap in this qualifying session. Going through turn number 4. We might see Polytromp getting disqualified as well, just for the fun of it, starting at the back. Go away. I love bots in the Twitch chat. Account created 5 hours ago, following since 12 seconds ago. That's a bit suspicious, don't you think? Bye-bye. Yeah, nah. Right, anyway. Fluffy's gone fastest with a 108.2. With Ahmed in second place. Hearts goes fastest now, 108.116. For the Alpine, or the Alpine Reserve. And a few other drivers just starting their first runs. But qualifying will be a lot more interesting without the usual top 4 or 5. Where they're not attending as well as the missing drivers. So as things stand, we've got Hearts on provisional pole, having, it's nice to shake it up a little bit in this session. And the Alpine might even be going again. They are both coming into the pit lane. He's going to try and overtake Om in the pit lane. They do both come in. It's only qualifying, so the game doesn't even penalise you if you speed. Here comes Zyro, coming round the last corner and up to the line. For the Haas driver, he goes into P5 with a 109.148. Teeks with a 108.4. Shane with a 109.1 as well. So it's all very close still, despite the missing usual top 4. That's Cook Race just coming into the pit lane. Got the RB of Rocky coming across the line. He's just starting his first run of the session. R34 coming up the hill through 6 and 7 into 8. He's not currently on a lap. Fluffy's invalidated on this occasion and goes very wide at the last corner. Needs to be careful not to get in the way of Tweaker, who's coming round the last corner as well. On board with the Kick-Sauber. Will get the DRS and the bit of slipstream from the Ferrari coming across the line. And I don't know if he's actually setting a lap. He's not on this occasion. 131.2. Bolly Trump also opting to start last. Teeks here getting a bit of a tow from the Haas of Zyro, I believe, up in front of him. And here comes the RB up to the line. No, he is coming into the pit lane, never mind. It seems that he was on a lap, I couldn't tell. Fluffy, 2/10 up through that first sector alone, on quite used tyres as well, going up the hill through turns 6 and 7, getting it rotated, getting it stopped for turn number 8, rotated again, back on the power with the flick, to the left again, down the hill, and back up again, on the exit of turn 9 into 10 and 11. It's sort of an off-camber, and it's not off-camber, in fact, it's on-camber, through turn 10, through 11, into 12, and then on the power, coming around the last couple of corners, which are all slight kinks on the main straight, DRS active, round turn number 15, and up to the line she goes. It's a 10th and a bit improvement to a 108.029, and provisional pole with tweaking next to the line, just going again, still just doing laps and laps on the circuit. R34 coming across the line, and does go fastest by a minuscule margin, 108.0 as well. And again, the top 3 are all separated by less than a 10th of a second so far. So, it's a different top 3, but they're all just as close as they were in the previous session. Yeah, I think we are mostly done. We are done with the first runs so far. We've got ongoing again, heading into the first couple of corners. There is time for 3 runs in this session, especially at a track like Interlagos. Getting a bit sideways on the curb at turn number 1. Gets it rotated though. Still keeps in a straight line, but will have lost that little bit of time. Still a 10th up on his personal best, which quite possibly says more about his personal best than about anything else. Going up the hill into turn 6 and 7. It's definitely not the cleanest of laps so far. There's a lot of time, and there again it's a big slide through 6 into 7. The car looking very, very unstable, and it's more minor time losses going into turn number 10. And it's always a McLaren. Right there is Rav on the racing line. But he's still going. He's 2.2 seconds up, which would send him to a mid 108 as things stand. Getting very wide to the outside, which is not the fastest way to take the straight. It's quite frankly the opposite, coming across the line. And he does go into P5 with a 108.3. And there's definitely time to be found in that lap, especially at this corner of turn number 1. And out the pit lane comes Rocky and Teeks. I'm just trying to get out the way of the pair of them. So it's interesting, they're all coming out quite early in the session. So I'm intrigued to see what we get in the in the last couple of minutes. And there's still plenty of time left in the session for changes to be made, track improvement to be found. But with 8 minutes to go, I think we're not going to see too many more drivers out on the circuit again until we get to those final runs. We've already seen one qualifying session so far, so we already have a vague idea of the pecking order, but it still could be very different comparatively. 108.2 from Rocky is his best so far. Going through the first couple of corners, seems to have kept it very neat and tidy, especially compared to the lap we've just watched. DRS active as he goes down in towards turn number 4. It's a 10th up through the first sector. He does have Rav up ahead of him, who is on a lap, but he's very slow in doing so, and might well get in the way of the RB. Going up the hill through turn 6 and 7, and yeah, he's already having to lift because of Rav there. He's not going to be improving, realistically. Cliffy Clive with a 108.3 to go into P5. Rocky's had to back off the lap. Technically, Rav was on a lap. It's just he's incredibly slow in doing so. You can't really blame Rav, but you know, can't blame Rocky either. It's just a bit unfortunate for him. And here comes Teeks around the final corner, up the line. He's gonna go, and he improves, but not by very much, less than a tenth of a second, and he stays in that P7. That's Rav finding himself quite close to the barriers as he spins through turn number 1. Rocky's backed off and is going again. So we know he's got a bit over a tenth through this first sector if he can find it again. It's a bit less on this occasion, 600ths of a second, but he's gone wide through turn number 4. And he's invalidated the lap. And it's not going to count. R34 on a flying lap, coming around the last corner. DRS active on the straight. And across the line he goes. He improves by, again, a tiny margin. Good to 108.009. It's less than 100th of a second that he improved by, but an improvement nonetheless. And that puts him a little bit further on provisional pole, now by 200ths of a second. But it's still very fine margins at the top of the timing sheets. And Fluffy going down the first DRS straight of the lap into turn 4. She's down on her personal best so far, but there still will be time to be found later in the lap. Going up the hill into turn number 6. Got to get it rotated. It's pretty much flat out, if you dare. Doesn't quite fully commit just yet. Then it's the slightly banked right-hander of turn number 10. Just gets it that little bit more. You can just carry that little bit more speed because of the banking. 10th and a half up, going across the final sector split. And that's just a blast to the line. Just got to keep the ERS from being over-deployed. And the blast up to the line now. Is a 10th and a half found to go back to provisional pole with a 107.864, and then spins it at turn number 1, almost gets in the way of the kick Sauber there. But it's Fluffy on pole by about a 10th and a half to R34 with Hearts not too far behind. It is all to play for at the end of this qualifying session. And Tweaker coming across the line. He does improve by a bit over a tenth to go up into P10 ahead of Ahmed, but it's not a very safe P10 as it's a small margin behind. There are lots of drivers that are going to be in between just like the lead drivers and the front. As Fluffy is he going to be coming into the pit lane? I honestly not too sure. So you can see it going off in the background there. Cookface coming through the first couple, through the middle sector now, through turn number 9. The long left-hander gets back on the power into turn number 10. The right-hand hairpin can be quite difficult to spot your braking point. It goes a tiny bit wider than is ideal, but does still get it rotated. Into turn number 12, 3 and a bit, close to 4 tenths up. Can send him to the top 3 if he gets it right. Coming round, the last corner was a bit of a slide, but here he goes with the DRS. Marching his way to the checker flag. It's only P4 in the end, loses that little bit of time through the final sector. And there's definitely more to be found in that lap if he can go again, which I don't think he'll be able to. Hart's just starting. What will be his final lap, most likely. It's a bit early to be going for a final lap, and it will cost him later in the session. There's that little bit more track evolution if you wait for the extra minute and a half before starting, but he's a tenth and a half up through that first sector alone, which is very good going. If he wants to displace Fluffy from the top of the timing sheets, going through turn 6 into turn 7, getting it stopped for turn number 8 down into first gear, again a bit low on the gears, not getting quite the rotation or quite the drive out the corner that he would have done otherwise. With a minute and 10 seconds to go, I don't think we're going to see either Ferrari again in this qualifying session. It's going to be close if we do. I think neither of the Ferraris, currently 1-2, are going to be setting another lap. Hart 3/10 up, coming around the last corner. He's on for provisional pole. DRS active, coming across the line. And he does so. A 107.7 to the millisecond. And that looks to be for his provisional pole. It is for now, and I don't think R34 is going to make the line in time with 40 seconds to go. I do think that is a strong contender for pole from the Alpine that he's just posted. Rocky will be looking to displace him as well, as he's just starting his final flying lap. He's got Teeks in front of him to provide that little bit of a tow. The two of them will be looking to challenge for that pole position. There's on-round the lap as well. And R34 with 15 seconds to go, I don't think he's going to make the line in time. He's not going to make the line in time as things stand. That's Clifty Clive coming around the last corner. He's going to suffer the same fate here. SM33 is down on his time. The checker flag has fallen and neither Ferrari are setting another lap in this session. Rocky close to 2/10 up through that first sector alone. He's got Teeks in front of him as well, going through that middle sector. Coming up the line. 3/10 up. He goes into P5, but no further. And 5th is the best that the Red Bull can do. Now the two RBs going through that into that final sector. Rocky's looking purple, and it may be a chance of taking that pole away. As it's a blast up the line, it's going to be Teeks first, and then Rocky to decide who's on that pole position. Teeks can only go into 5th, and Rocky can't do it either. He's a 10th and a bit off. And it's Hart taking pole position for the season finale by a 10th over Rocky, with Fluffy just behind, and then another 10th and a half to R34. As the last lap there, coming in from Zyro, is only enough for 11th. It's Hart, fastest, starting from pole. Rocky in second, Fluffy third, with R34 in 4th. Both of them, like, provisional 1-2, but neither got a lap in at the end. Cookface in 5th place, fell quite rapidly down the order in the sprint. Teeks in 6th, 7th, Clifty Clive 8th, Ahmed 9th, and Shane in 10th, rounding off the top 10. And then obviously you got the back 4. Liam Wilder, Mr. Business, Polytrump and Tech Sport, all 4 of whom you'd expect to be right up the field as soon as possible. And this sprint, this main race, the last 36 laps on F124 should be quite the excitement if the sprint's anything to go off. Honestly, should be even better than what we saw in the sprint. So we've got the 4 drivers all trying to fight their way through the field. There should be action pretty much wherever you look. We're going to be waiting for that little bit, another 3 minutes until we get going. Voice not quite feeling it today. It's like I can kind of feel when I hit the limit of my voice. It's not quite at my fullest today, but yeah. So we'll see how this main race goes, but it should be an exciting one. Got 36 laps to work our way through the field, and there's still battles across all the championships, apart from at the top. Mr. Business and Limwalder separated by 3 points. That would now be 5 points, separating them after the sprint. That one's one to watch. Tech Sport versus Hearts is also a battle to watch. One on pole, one in last. Should be an interesting one to watch for the end. And Hearts still has a chance of even taking second in the championship, so anything can happen at the end here. Constructors-wise, the main fight is Mercedes versus Williams, but that's not tremendously close. And it's basically just Limwalder versus Tech Sport. There'll be, a mental maths will be 17 points between them, so it's not really on, but there's a chance. But honestly, I think the main thing to look out for is just this race. Just enjoy it in the moment, the last of the season and the last of this game, and then we can hope that F125 brings new, better things for us in the end. A better game it just brings more drivers, because more motivation to race. The last race on F124 is about to get underway. And it should be a good one. Formation lap should be getting underway soon. And here we go. The formation lap is underway for the last race of the season. There is strategy differences that can be made at this track. The soft medium, soft medium, medium soft, medium hard, hard medium are all viable strategies for this race. SM33 and Limwalder have got involved in an incident already, and neither of them will be taking place on the formation lap, both starting the race with cold tyres, which is good if you're one of the drivers around them, because you can just get that little bit better of a launch, because you can use this lap to get your tyres up to temperature. There goes Rocky, having a little bit of fun through the middle sector. So the last race of the season, last race of the game as well. 18 drivers, the highest attendance of the season as well. And for a first season, there isn't much more we could have hoped for. Like, the support so far is everything we could have wished for. It's been so fun to just get growing, and I've been loving it in the commentary box. It feels good to be back, so otherwise I wouldn't be doing it for a while. But now, we await the lights for the last 36 laps of the game. As everyone just lines up on the grid. Tech Sport misses his spot as well. There's a big angle there for Om, who ends up being too angled and missing out. Rocky angled right across to try and challenge for the lead into turn 1. And the last race of the season is about to get underway. It's lights out, and away we go. Hearts gets away well and does lead into turn 1, but he's got Rocky on the inside to deal with. Hearts leads, and there's a virtual safety car deployed already, as Limwalder has not got going off the line. And we've got a virtual before they even made it to the first corner. Everyone having to give back the positions that they took on lap 1. took at turn 1. Rav's got a 10-second time penalty for a collision with Tweakert. Everyone is out of position, trying to give back all the illegal overtakes that they've picked up. It's absolute carnage on lap 1. Rav's got a 10-second time penalty. Zyra's got an illegal overtake on someone. It's absolute carnage, and it's only lap 1. Look at the gap from Rav forwards. There's wings flying off under virtual safety car. Look at the 16-second gap from Rav ahead of him. Rav's now got another 10-second time penalty. It's absolute carnage in the lower midfield. And then we go green again, and there's a 16-second gap. Hearts leads, Rocky in second place with Fluffy in third. And look at where the leads, or where like the championship leaders are. Polytron, who has won the championship, he's down in 14th. Mr. Business 15th, Tech Sports 16th, and Liam Water down in 18th. Hearts leads, sets the fastest lap of the race as well, and he's got Rocky on his tail, trying to challenge for the last win of the season. Hearts having taken 2 in 2 races with a sprint chucked in there as well. And he's refound his form, having just in his time here. But look at the minimap. What has happened? On lap 1, Liam Wilder gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I don't know what happened to him either. We had a virtual safety car before we even got going. Quite possibly the earliest virtual safety car I've ever seen. But now it's Hearts leading still, with Rocky still in that second place. As Mr. Business and Polytron both getting past Rav through turn number 5 into 6. There goes Tech Sport as well. They need to make these moves, and they need to make them quickly. But I don't think there's very much they can do to overturn this 15-second deficit that they face. 23 seconds to race leader Hearts. And there goes Rocky, round the outside to lead the Brazilian Grand Prix on lap number 3. And Cookface has got a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He's pitting very early off those medium tyres, unless he has unless he has front wing damage. Oh, which he does. He's changing his front wing. Picks up a 10-second time penalty as well. There goes Hearts back into the race lead. Oh, goes past Rocky into turn number 4. And the Alpine takes the lead again. Few drivers coming into the pit lane, Polytron included. So the McLaren, who has already won the Drivers' Championship, is coming into the pits with a nose change. And that's his race pretty much over. Which is a shame, because it would have been very fun to watch him try and work his way through the field. Mr. Business now in 11th, but there's still such a long way to go. He's 23 seconds behind the race lead. So again, it's a front 3 that's formed in this main race. We had a front 4 in the sprint that became a front 6, front 7 at different points. But now, there goes Rocky. Goes but for the race lead on Hearts. Round the outside into that first corner. He's going to try and find it though. They go right the way up to the white line, but not over it. And Hearts gets a move back. There goes Fluffy as well with the better exit. Wasn't compromised by another car. And is she going to try and go past the race leader as well? She doesn't do so and slots in to second place. But it's Hearts who leads. Fluffy in second, Rocky in third after the first few laps. Now we've got a front 6 forming again. Mr. Business sitting down in 10th, starting to work his way back through the field. I'm genuinely curious to see whether he can overturn this gap, because it's a monstrous margin he's going to have to overturn. There's a yellow flag. That's Shane who's gone off. Oh no, it's SM33 who's gone off at turn number 4. There's a second virtual safety car off the race, but again, it's too early to be making a pit stop at this stage. Drivers will just put their batteries onto none, charge up for a bit. I'm not expecting to see anyone in the pit lane, which was confirmed. I'm surprised they're not recharging more than they are, and not even slightly dragging the brakes, which is interesting. So, after the first 5 laps, Mr. Business has worked his way up into 10th, Tech Sport 11th, But Polydrum and Liam Wilder, both making pit stops, are down in 16th and 17th still. So unless we get a full safety car, their races seem to be pretty much over before they even begun. So they chose to start from the back, but they... Oh, SM33 struggling with that front wing damage. Went slightly wide at the pit lane entry, but realistically, like, it's not that big of a deal. As Rav's got a 3-second time penalty under this virtual safety car for multiple warnings. He's using his battery as well. Burning it down into... Oh, a DRS gets enabled. We go green again. Fluffy right on the back of Hart does get a good restart. The top 6 do remain in the train as they were before. As we go green, Mr. Business and Textbook goes flying around the outside of Zyro and up into that 9th and 10th place. Both up into the points now, but they've got a tall order if they want to get anywhere further through the field. There goes Hart on Rocky. It's 3 wide into the first couple of corners, and they've somehow all made it through cleanly. Fluffy has to slightly cut turn number 2. But they went 3 wide, and they all made it through again. There goes Fluffy off again. Gets a little squeeze from Hearts down the straight, and has to settle for 4th place. As the Alpine takes the lead of the sprint again. Teeks now into 2nd place with Rocky in 3rd. Fluffy 4th now, with R34 5th, and Om sitting behind in 6th. R34 on the hard tyres, probably in the best position here, as he's able to keep with the front, with the other 5. Despite being on the harder tyre, so when he goes onto the mediums, he'll be in a better position than they are. Liam Wilder sets the fastest lap of the race with a 109.9. And he's just going to be trying to get his head down lap after lap to... I mean, it's closing an impossible margin at that stage. Mr. Business and Tech Support are also trying to close an impossible margin. But, yeah, like, it's so unlikely for anyone, really, to be in the fight. There goes Teeks on the inside of Hart. Can he make the move stick? No, he can't. But he will get the DRS to allow him to get that place back. I think Hart's tried to go a little bit wide and get the DRS, but that's backfired as he's not got it at all and starts tumbling down the field, down into 4th place. Rocky takes 2nd. Fluffy goes 3rd, but gets pushed off the circuit, and there goes Hart's back into 3rd place. Onto the podium again is now a Ferrari 4-5. R34 wants to get past his temporary teammate, but he can't do anything about it so far. And this fighting is exactly what Mr. Business and Tech Sport want, because it just slightly slows down the leaders and gives them the slightest chance of closing back up. Oh, that's a send! Fluffy on the inside of Hart. We saw it from on board the Alpine. I think he saw the move coming, but wasn't a lot he could have done about it other than just blatantly turning in and taking them both out of the race. Don't think Fluffy was happy with the way in which he was pushed off the circuit through turn number 4. Here they go again! Down the main straight! Round the outside goes the Ferrari. On Rocky. Tries to get the move on Teeks as well, but gets a little bit boxed in. Rocky goes deep and will compromise his exit as a result. But I think he's just that little bit too fast for Fluffy to have a chance. He's going to try go for the lead on Teeks, but he does actually choose not to go for the move just yet. Waits for a better opportunity and will try again later. They're practically pushing each other through turn 4. Fluffy surely won't go for the move just yet. And this race has absolutely delivered so far. That's Zyro who's found the barriers, and it's a full core safety car on lap number 8, and surely everyone's in for the hard compound tyres. We're only 8 laps in. Fluffy's gone past Rocky. I don't know if she knows that it's a safety car or not. Not quite sure what's going on. I think Rocky's got an illegal overtake on the Ferrari. And now Teeks has a 2-second margin and will be able to pit comfortably and remain in the race lead. Rocky will have to settle for 3rd. He was going to have to double stack anyway. So, yeah, he was going to lose those places anyway. Into the pits. They all go. Hart is going to stay out and take the lead. As does R34, everyone else is coming into the pit lane. Ahmed with a 10-second time penalty for speeding. But now, The race for Textboard and Mr. Business is firmly back on. As into the pits they all come as well. And now that margin no longer looks impossible. So Ahmed's getting ahead of Om, who I believe changed the front wing in the pit stops, unless I'm mistaken. I'm looking at the Alpine garage instead of the circuit right now, but I'm going to keep it like that because it's quite funny. For Hearts, staying out on the medium tyres. I don't think it's a strategy call that I agree with. I don't think I would have done the same, personally. I think 27 laps on the hards is not ideal, but it's possible. You know, you're looking for a normal pit stop around lap 15 at this circuit if you're going medium hard. So I think lap 9 is the sort of point where you have to pit. But I guess we'll see. He's got the track position, but he had the track position anyway. If he had pitted, he'd be in pretty much the exact same position, just on better tyres. Honestly, might as well have just stayed out. Or not stayed out, but might as well have just pitted onto another set of mediums if he was going to do that. I guess we'll see. Maybe he'll prove me wrong, and it will actually work out perfectly for him. So we do have a race set up for us in the next little while. Safety car won't be in just yet. It will most likely be on the next lap. But I'm still very interested about Hart staying out, because he's on so much older tyres than everyone else. Like, in that position, if you wanted to do this strategy, it makes so much more sense to pit again. So, the safety car should be in this lap, and it is. We're gonna get back racing, and now we've got a race leader who, Ahmed, who's got a 10-second time bounty for a collision with Fluffy under safety car. We got a race leader on 10-lap-old medium tyres who'll be looking to stretch them for a soft stint at the end, I'd imagine, now that I'm thinking about it in hindsight. But even then, I still would have personally pitted again. And he's the one who decides when we go racing. And he bolts. R34 can't keep with him. And he does get a very nice restart there. Keeping the position. Teak sitting in third place. A little way behind as well. There goes Fluffy. Off the circuit trying to go around the outside of Ahmed and Om. And they go 3 wide as they tried to all give the positions back. Mr. Business goes up into 7th place, going very wide there. That's Ahmed, who tried to give all the positions back. Diving to the inside. It's Mr. Business on Fluffy. Can't get the move done. And there's a bit of contact between the two of them on the exit, but they are both okay. It's quite an exciting restart so far. Techsport right on the rear of the Red Bull as well. There's so much going on in the lower stages of the field. Tweaking and Ahmed side by side up the hill. But I think they all have somehow made it through the restart safely. Mr. Business finds the barriers as I say that. The Red Bull goes tumbling down the field through turn number 9. With some front wing damage, falls to 17th, and that is race over unless we see another safety car in this race. Hart still leads. R34 second, Teaks third. Pretty much as they were on the restart with the swapping of the 2 RBs. Tech Sport is going to be going for the move on Om, trying to get him his way through and then push to catch up to the front 4. He'll get the DRS going into turn 4, which will allow him to get that position back again. Ahmed's pitting, but has a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's his race, all but over, unfortunately, at this stage. There's another safety car! As I say that, I think his Rav has gone off through turn number 1. And I keep saying that people's races are over. And they come straight back into it again. This is the race that keeps on giving. Yeah, there's been a lot of 10-second penalties. I think Rav got 3 10 seconds on lap 1. So, so theoretically he can get a couple of them removed. Because he's not going to serve them all. Ahmed's got a 20-second penalty. I mean, what hasn't happened in this race? To be honest. What hasn't happened so far in this race? Into the pit lane. Comes Hart from the race lead. And no one else follows him. A Techsport gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Working his way back through the field, and he's now going to go tumbling back down. And all of a sudden, the 2 lead drivers, out of the ones who started at the back, are Polytromp and Liam Wilder. The 2 that were absolutely nowhere in the first stint. Have just kept their noses clean since the safety car. And now they sit 7th and 9th. And Hart's all the way down now to 13th place, having gone too long on those medium tyres. Really went way too long. Should have pitted sooner. And what an end to the race we have ahead of us. And into the pits again is, Zyro and Techsport. Techsport obviously getting that 10 seconds served. Makes sense, gets us out of the way. But Zyro back into the pits is interesting. We've got 20 laps to go still. And now we wait. The safety car likely in this lap, if not next. Yes, the safety car is in. At the end of this lap. And now, we've got a 21 lap race. Everyone's on hard tyres. Everyone should make it to the end. I assume everyone's on hards. Not everyone's on hards, but everyone should be, really. 21 laps to the end. R34 still yet to pit. The only driver in the field in that position. And he's going to lead them away. On the restart, he gets very sideways as he tries to get going. And that's caused chaos behind. But he's got away well in the grand scheme of things. We've already got a yellow flag. Rocky! His brake's gone through the first corner. What's just happened to Rocky through turn number 1? He's just gone straight on, and I think he's wiped out R34 with him. And now Teeks leads the Brazilian Grand Prix with Om in second place, Polytron third, and Fluffy in fourth. Has Rocky's brakes on? I don't understand. What? That's the only reasonable explanation I can give other than just straight up wiped him out. But now we got Om in second place with Polytromp in third, who will be looking to work his way back through the field. Yeah, look, Rocky's brakes are gone. His brakes, he's just unable to brake if he tries. He's now gone under AI control, retired from the session on track, which he's not meant to do, but I think it is understandable. He's not going to bring out another safety car, shouldn't affect anything. But now Teeks leads with an 8/10 margin over Polytron, with Fluffy in over Om. Polytron behind with Fluffy just down in fourth. There's another couple cars off the circuit. And it's all kicking off in this final race of the season. Polytromp with the DRS going up right behind Om into turn number 4. He's going to be trying to get that move. There's nothing he can do so far. Mr. Business in 8th place, having started from the back as well. Again, nothing that he can do to work his way up through the field. Hards found himself back in 5th, having made that extra pit stop. Or having made that later pit stop. He's now right on the back of Fluffy. Will likely have Limbo passing him before too long, but that should allow him to close back up to the front 3, front 4, or however many it will be by the time once he joins the ranks with Limbo. Oh, that's what you'd expect to happen in the next little while, but maybe Fluffy will close in on her own, getting into the DRS of Polytromp, who made a mistake through that final sector. And the gaps are all a lot more spread out now that everyone's on the medium tyres, all basically the same age, but Hearts will have a tyre offset compared to everyone else. Hearts going through the first couple of corners. He's going to be right behind Fluffy this time, who's made a mistake through the first couple of corners, and that will invite the Alpine to go past with the DRS. Go for the inside and moves past into 4th place. I just can't speak at the moment. And that's Fluffy with a bit of front wing damage, which he might well have picked up on that safety car restart. Teek still leads. Om still in second place, unable to do anything really. Polytromp just sitting behind in third. Hards is in 4th now, but he's 1.5 seconds behind. And I don't think he's going to be able to close up to the front 3 anytime soon, unless they start fighting. And Fluffy just keeping it going around in 5th, but likely won't be stay. Oh no, goes very, very wide. I was about to say it's unlikely to stay in that 5th place. It doesn't stay in that 5th place. Goes off at the last corner and will fall, possibly even outside the points. She's now got Ahmed right behind. There goes Polytromp on Teeks, and Om goes past the pair of them, and now the Red Bull takes the race lead. Teeks now trying to hold on to second place, but there's nothing he can do. Now Polytromp with the DRS sets up the move to try and take the lead away, but he's not got enough straight line speed. And there's Teeks. You can see him on the inside. So they go wheel to wheel up into turn number 6. Surely one of them's going to have to back out, and I think it's going to have to be Teeks. So they go up the hill through turn 6, and he does. have to concede the place. You can't go side by side through that corner without one of you backing out, or otherwise it'll be Don't take a drink of water while speaking. You can't go side by side through that corner without one of you backing out, or otherwise it'll go very, very wrong. Is the nicest way to put it. Oh, I'm getting sideways and almost losing it. Does lose out, almost going fully round. Keeps it mostly in a straight line. And now Hearts with the freshest tyres out of everyone in this front four. Tries to get past the Red Bull. Can't do so. Polytrump now leads. The Brazilian Grand Prix. He's got Teeks right up behind him though. He's going to try and take that second place. Tech Sport goes past Cliffy Clive. Now up into 6th place. And now goes for 5th as well as Teeks takes the race lead. Polytrump trying to fight him back. And with the switchback does go back past into the race lead. On lap number 20. Teeks going to try it on the inside of turn 6. There's not much you can do at that corner, but Hearts and Norman demonstrating that it's possible. Side by side through 6, into 7, now 8, down the hill into 9. And it's only costing them time, but it's a brilliant battle to watch. As the Alpine goes past! And it's a bit of grass on the outside for the Red Bull, which sends him down to 8th, outside. Possibly outside the DRS to the front 5, and there's another safety car. There's another retirement in this race. It's only the second retirement. But it's Fluffy who's gone off at the top of turn 10 by the looks of things. I need to breathe. This is not... This race has been drama. What's happened in this race? And R34 is out as well. Might have been a retirement in the pit lane, I'm not sure. Oh, I wasn't looking for a split second, and then there's another car out. It's absolute carnage. In these last few laps, he's still got 15 to go. And just no end to the excitement. Now everyone behind is on the medium tyres. A few drivers have stayed out. And both Ferraris out as well. Hart still leads, but he's now got Tech Sport right up behind him, who's on faster tyres of the same age, if not a tiny bit younger. Someone needs to plot a graph of the... by someone, I mean I'm going to do it, because that's just who I am. But I need to plot a graph of the changes in position every lap. Because but not even every lap will do it though. That's the thing. Showing the plotting of the change in positions every lap won't show the full story. That's the worst part. I don't know. I'll think of something. But this race has been absolutely all over the place. So, Hearts leads, Tech Sport second, Clifty Clive third, Zyra in fourth, and then it's everyone on the fresh mediums, some even going for the softs. I'd expect the safety car to be in at the end of this lap. I think we have now exhausted all the safety cars that the game can give. Ahmed still has a 10-second penalty. The safety car's in at the end of this lap. in by far the most chaotic race we've had. It's been an absolute thriller for a neutral. And what more does this race have to throw at us? In these last 14 laps. We've only just gone halfway in this race. We've got 14 to go. And Hartz is waiting for the right point. He bolts again. And for the second time, he leads us away on a safety car restart. And Clifty Clive trying to defend from Zyro, forcing him right the way to the outside. But this time, the Haas can get himself past the Kicks Alba. Polytron trying to go through as well. Might well have picked up a little track limits warning there, as he got the door closed on him by Clifty Clive. Nothing wrong in that defence. But there he goes. There goes a McLaren on Clifty Clive. Sorry, gets the move done, and Zyra goes wide as well to get him past both of them in one corner. And now he goes chasing after the front two, who have that 1.1 second margin in front of him. But will that be able to last? Liam Walder goes through into 5th place with Mr. Business in 4th. He's gone for the mediums. He's gone for the soft tyres again, considering how bad he found them in the sprint. Surprises me. Ahmed's off the circuit, so is SM33. But we still keep going round. Polytron closing that gap in. Such is the difference in tyres at this stage. Rav and Ahmed, both going off at turn 10. There goes Textbook quite wide to the outside, trying to defend from Polytron, who's on the inside, and looking to take that second place away on much, much better tyres. Launches it to the inside, and there's nothing Textbook can do. He has to back out, and he loses out to Mr. Business. In doing so, try to be safe. No need to fight that move, but he's just lost a little bit from the way in which he backed out. Possibly should have done it even sooner, because it just pinched him to the inside and cost him the place again. But now Hart continues his reign up at the top of the field. He's currently sitting 3/10 ahead of Polytron, but that won't last for too long. And it's just trying to comprehend everything I've watched in this race. That's what the problem is right now. We've got 12 laps to go when they next reach the line. Rav's gone off again. And here comes Polytron. With the DRS, you'd expect him to go right the way past the Alpine. Into turn 1. There he goes. Mr. Business right behind him as well. Gonna try tuck into the inside on the McLaren, but he can't do so. He gets past Arts, but there's not much more he can do with it. And now, they go into turn 4. Mr. Business right behind Polytron, trying to go for the move. On the inside, it's turn number 4. And he does do so. And take the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. He won the sprint. And now, he's leading the main Grand Prix. Hart's desinking, ghosting with his car, but he's able to get himself back ahead. And now Techsport's stuck to trying to get the move. I'm sure he wouldn't have wanted to do that otherwise, but there was nothing else he could have really done with how the car's unghosted. There's a bit of contact, but Hart is okay. Teek's right behind the Alpine as well. Can't do anything with it. Cookface still there in the front 7. What a race it's been. Mr. Business now leads, the unlikeliest of race leaders, considering how many times he's been right down at the bottom. Polytron going to think about the move, but he's not doing so. He's going to wait for the run into turn 4. But there goes Lim Walder, out of absolutely nowhere. Thought about going for the move, tried it, and only ended up losing himself and Polytron for that bit of time. But it was worth the attempt from the Alpine. It's good to see some... And it's aggressive racing, but nothing bad coming out of it. It's just brilliant to watch. Techsport still keeping within the DRS, but he's a little bit close to dropping out. He'll be absolutely fine, though, going through turn number 9. Teeks and Hart side by side through turn 9. Oh, there's a bit of contact as he tried to squeeze the RB out. I think he was entitled to do so, but it just cost them both that little bit of time and the DRS as well. And it's the usual front four from the sprint that we see. Hart is actually going to stay in the DRS, but I don't think he's going to be able to cling on for long on those 12-lap-old hards. We may see the re-establishment of the front four from the sprint. Going back at it again. Liam Wilder goes past Polytromp. Gonna think about it on Mr. Business as well. Can't do anything. Through turn number 1. And Polytromp fights him back and retakes that second place. With the DRS now going chasing down Mr. Business. Into turn 4. There's nothing he can do just yet. Hart, 8 tenths behind again. He's definitely a risk. If he can't get much closer, if they don't start battling, I think he will drop out before too long. Shane with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Down in 9th place. Isn't likely to lose too much from it. With only his first penalty of the race, won't lose anything. And will keep that 9th place. As things stand, Tweakett goes past. SM33 has gone off the circuit at turn number 9. And I think Tweakett might have spun around as well. They have both had a spin at turn 9. They both get back going again, possibly with a bit of damage. But they are still both okay. Teeks goes past Hart into turn number 1. And that was always bound to happen with the way the race has been going for the last little while. Polytromp leads now from Mr. Business, who's going to try and get the position back, but I think he'd be wise to not go for it just yet. Save up a bit of battery and go for it that little bit later in the race. But it's going to be another matter of saving for the last lap, where things will all matter. SM33 retires in the pit lane. And that is the end of his race. Tweakett changing a front wing, down in 11th place. Unlikely to score any points, but if a car in front does end up retiring, he might be able to. But now Polytromp starting to stretch his legs out front with an 9/10 margin, 9.5, close to a second, and it is just over a second. Polytromp's broken the DRS on lap number 28, and Liam Wilder has to go straight back past Mr. Business to even have a chance of keeping in this race, and he will remain with the 1 second of Polytromp. But it's moments like that, they're just scary, because what if Liam Wilder doesn't overtake you? If you're Mr. Business, what if Liam Wilder doesn't overtake me? Because you can't control what he does. You just need him to go past with the DRS. There's SM33's car retiring from the session. Hart has disconnected again. It might have been SM33 disconnecting that caused him to lag out. I'm not sure. And I've invited him back to the session, but yeah, there's not much else I can do. He's going to drop out from the DRS of OM, possibly even behind Cookface, through absolutely no fault of his own. He's joined back. He's out the DRS of OM. He should still be ahead of Cookface as things stand, if he can get back before turn 1, which I think he should be able to. And again, Polytromp has the 1 second margin, and Mr. Business isn't close enough to do anything about it, unless Liam Wilder can regain it through turns 1, 2 and 3, which he will just be able to do. Polytromp is definitely threatening to pull away out of the DRS. Hart is disconnected again. And, Shane's that's in the pit lane retiring from the session. That will promote Clifty Clive into the points-paying positions. Surprised that Shane retired from the race there when he's currently running in the points. Cookface with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Hart's disconnecting yet again. I just don't know if he's going to be able to get back in time. He should still get that 8th place at the very worst. He just joins and immediately gets disconnected again. I don't think there's much more I can do. I'm inviting him as often as I can. Let's send like 3, just in case. In case that helps. And Liam Wilder's he's got it closer. He is comfortably with Polydrop now. I just don't know if Hearts is going to be able to join back. I think Hearts might be out of this race. And they all go snaking through the hill again. They've got 5 full laps to go in this Brazilian Grand Prix. 5 laps and the final run to the line is what's going to decide this race. Haas now falls down to 8th place, and I think that's his race over. He'll still be ahead of Ahmed for sure, but 8th place will be the best he can do, which is so unfortunate considering where he has been throughout this race. He doesn't deserve to be that low, but such is the way of life sometimes. He's joined back, and hopefully this time he'll be able to actually stay there. And if he can stay with Cookface, he will be in 7th place. If he can get back in a reasonable period of time. His AI will get the DRS, which may even allow him to get back past the Haas car. But again, Polydrom's going to get the DRS this time around from Zyro up in front of them, which will allow him to pull away that little bit. Oh no, he won't, because Zyro has backed off. And Hearts, he's been retired as he disconnects from the session. He's going to score no points through no fault of his own. Hearts is out of the Brazilian Grand Prix. And Tweakett's going to score. He's going to score points in what will become 10th place. But we have 4 laps to go. And Limwater Softs are starting to struggle. He knew how bad they were in the sprint, but he tried them anyway. He rolled the dice. And I think he's going to suffer the same fate again of just the Softs dying. But Polydrom very sideways at the top of the hill. Mr. Business, with the almost full battery, he's waiting for the last lap to absolutely go for it. So the question is, will Limwater Soft still be good enough by the end of the race? Because he's struggling to keep up with Polytromp. And I think Mr. Business wants to go for the move here. He wants to get a move on as he goes around the outside in turn number 1. He's going to try to, without burning too much battery. Limwater sends it to try and hold the position, which might have only just cost him, as now Mr. Business gets the run down into turn 4. He's got more battery to play with, but he doesn't want to burn too much. Limwater's going defensive. Going to try round the outside of Polydrop into the race lead. Can he make it stick? No, he can't. Not quite, but he's still there. He's still there on the inside. They've got Mr. Business lurking in the background. There's a little bit of contact between the two of them as he tries to find a bit of space up the hill. But Mr. Business is not able to get the move. And we've got 2 laps. 2 full laps to go. Mr. Business has to get past Liam Walder. If he can't, then there's just no way he can fight to the end. And Liam Walder is costing him the chance to fight Polytromp. He's got to go for the move as they go on to lap 35, the penultimate lap of this Brazilian Grand Prix and of the season. Mr. Business just has to get closer to Polytromp while also saving enough battery to be able to go for it on the last lap. It's a matter of whether, which is more important to him, getting closer or saving the battery. He's got more than Polytromp at the moment by about 10%. But if he can't do anything else with it, then what can he do? He needs to get a lot closer to the McLaren and needs to have more battery. And I don't think it's going to be enough, but they're going to go on to the final lap. Nothing's going to happen just yet. He's not going to want to go for the move down this straight into turn 1. He's going to want to wait for the end of the race, the last lap, and the last corner. The last lap of the season, of the game as a whole. We go on to lap 36 of 36. Liam Wilder covering the inside to try and defend from tech support, who's got Teeks right behind him as well. Tech support doing 21 laps on these mediums. They'll be absolutely shot by this stage. But he's hanging on. Mr. Business, go for the move! On the inside of Polytromp, he gets it done! Into turn 4! And could that be the move that wins in the race? As they go up the hill now into turn 6, it's a matter of saving battery for the pair of them. But if they don't save enough, then he's not going to have enough to go for the move, blasting through the last corner up to the line. It's not that much of a run with the actual DRS. There's a decently long run, but with only a 10% ERS difference, I don't think it's going to be enough for Polytromp as they go round the last corner of turn number 12 onto the final straight. It's flat out for the rest of the season from here. Polytromp has the DRS, which he opens. Is he going to have enough straight line speed? It's going to be side by side across the line. Polytromp wins the Brazilian Grand Prix in the perfect way to put the crown on his championship winning campaign. He finishes with another victory. Cookface and Arm going side by side across the line. It's not going to matter. The Red Bull will get the position after the time penalties are applied. Liam Wilder comes home in 3rd. Techsport 4th with Teeks in 5th. Arm comes home in 6th with Cookface in 7th. Ahmed will come across the line in 8th. And there's going to be Clifty Clive in 9th and Tweakers in 10th to get a double points finish for Kick Sauber. And across they both go to round off the season with Rav coming across the line. It's the final race on F124 and it was a fun one. What a way to round off the first season. The first season on this game. And the last on this game. With the sprint race won by Mr. Business. The main race won by Polytromp. Red Bull crown off their Constructors' Championship. Polytromp gets his Drivers' Championship. And that was quite the way to end it. But it's not over for a while. We still are going to be racing on day 1 of F125. The action starting from the very first day with a reverse race. Everyone's going to be new to the game. It should be chaotic. It should be amazing. And that was it for Season 1. The support has been incredible. To get 18 drivers in our 8th race it's just amazing. And just thank you all for watching. Even if you've only watched one stream, that it helps, and it's got us to where we are, and we'll continue to grow on F125 in just a couple weeks' time.